Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning. So we have Canada and Nigeria in the house.
Fantastic collaboration.
That's right. How many of you heard my story yesterday? One person. My story really, yesterday I shared it a couple of times. It's about resilience. It's about a woman who was so brutally abused throughout her married life. I was married at the age of 18 in Vancouver to a very influential, powerful family. And from day one, so I was into my marriage, I was brutally raped, sodomized, and then sent to the hospital, to emergency. There, it was the first time that I heard the word rape. I didn't know that it applied to me as a wife. The doctor asked me who had raped me, and I said, no, I just got married a few hours ago. But what that did from that day on, from the age of 18, for the next 12 and a half years with him, and then 3.5 years away from him, I survived many attempted murders. I survived a forced suicide. There were times that I begged him not to kill me, to let go. And then there were times I begged him to do it, to kill me quickly, because I felt that death would be better than living this. So it's really, truly my honor that you're here and listening to me. I share this very painful story, but it is my hope that as you hear this story, I hope that you will also see signs of abuse, because abusers don't stand out. If there was an abuser in this room, would you recognize him?
No.
Or her? For men, I'm going to say him, okay. Would you recognize a victim if she was here? No. You know why? Because an abuser outside is too busy making sure that he's showing the good side of him. He's putting on this charming mask. The victim is too busy looking good, hiding her abuses. What she's really doing is enabling his behavior. That's what I did for all these years. It's been actually quite recent, about 12 years, that I started to come out of my comfort zone. I broke the so-called honor system, the shame, the pride, and I started to speak out. And when I did, I lost a lot of family, friends. The community never supported me, but I became a woman who, they'll call me a poor thing, poor her. But it's them that I think are poor them. Because I found the courage when there was none. See, I share the stories all over the place simply because I want to show you that abuse shouldn't define you. That you shouldn't go around introducing yourself as, I'm a victim. Because we're not victims anymore. We have a voice. And now we're going to start using that voice. As I shared yesterday, the very thing that my husband tried to silence me with, break me with, was my voice, my job. So if you look at me, you might not see anything really wrong with me, but I'll tell you that half of my face, from my eyes down to my chin, is artificial. My husband broke it to the point where it was beyond repair. So the first surgery I had, the doctors actually took out 2 ribs and grafted them. But over time, the screws got a bit too tight, and the ribs, the bone kept cracking. So after 10 multiple jaw surgeries, I don't feel my face. I have the ability to blink right now, but when I have the other surgery, which is due soon, I may not have that ability to blink. But I'll tell you one thing, Botox or no Botox, I will still speak.
Wow.
I have a voice,
Yes.
I have scars, but none of those things that hit it to me is going to stop me from telling you guys
Yes.
that you need to stand up and say enough. Because as long as we do that, the message we're sending our children is that it's okay. That we women were born to put up with this crap, and men are allowed to show their emotions and anger, and they can get away with it. Well, I'm a mother of 2 boys and 2 girls. I'm a grandmother of 2 girls and 2 boys, and 1/3 child on the way, so I don't know what gender. But I teach, after I left my husband, after all that brutality, he had actually brought me here. There's quite a few memories of abuse, torture, attempted murders in this country. So when I came here, it was a bit hard, because it's been about 16 years that I was here, and so coming back to where it's at, you know what, it even might be healing. That's how I'm looking at it. So my friend and I ventured out because I want to conquer, I want to overcome.
Yes.
As I said, the beatings were so relentless. There were no witnesses. They saw, but they didn't see. It was my issue. You know, in Vancouver, in Canada mostly, we refer to this violence as domestic violence.
Yeah.
And so what happens is domestic becomes so domesticated that it doesn't carry that weight. Whereas if 2 people was fighting outside of the street, people will be involved, right? But because we're husband and wife, similarly as rape, we couldn't really do much before. Not much has changed these days. But you know, I am still fighting for those that are in it, that those who will be in it. I hope not. Welcome to new ones that joined us. I began to stand up for my daughters because I knew what my daughters had gone through. Yesterday I shared, and I'll share this because I think it just really puts violence into perspective. I shared one incident where my husband had taken me to the ocean, and he had taken me there a few times before, late nights. So this last time that he did, my children, my youngest baby was 2 years old, so they were 2 years old. Midnight he woke them up. These terrified children never questioned him. The reason they never questioned and agreed with everything he said is they were afraid he'll kill me. So indirectly, they were protecting me by their silence. So we went into the car, and I thought we could go 2 places. 1, he could drop me back at the hospital. 2, he would take me back to the ocean. So it was the ocean. It's usually a 50-minute drive from where we live, but this particular day it seemed like a 5-second drive. I had so many thoughts. I wanted to say so many things to my children. They were still babies. But most of all, I wanted to hug them, kiss them, and tell them this is not what I had expected or wanted, that I wanted to be there for my children, to see them grow up, graduate, to see them get married, spoil their children, and live for them. But today, he was taking it away from me. So he pulled me out of the car, and took me. It was about, I'd say, a good, I don't know, blocks, but it was a good 5-minute walk to the end of this jetty, they call it. As I'm walking towards my death, I'm thinking to myself, Mom, Dad, where are you? Do you have any idea where your little girl is tonight? Because some years prior, my dad said to me, after listening to my charming husband say how much he loved me, my dad said to me, baby, you go back. Go back to him. He was charged with attempted murder in this one. He said, you go back to him and live like an Indian woman. And I tried to say to my dad, but Dad, do you know what he does to me? Dad wouldn't listen, and he said, go. I'll come for you. I promise to come and take you home one day. And I said, when? When? He said, I'll come for your body.
What?
It was more honorable for my dad to come for a body and get sympathy than have his daughter a loose woman. He could. So I walked very close to my dad. I said, nay, Dad, he didn't kill me. You did. You just killed me. And Dad, I'm not ever coming back, and please don't come for my body. Someone will take care of it. So as I'm at this ocean, I'm mumbling to myself in the hopes that the people that I'm referring to are listening. But first I talk to my kids in my quiet voice as I'm being led to my death. And I said to each one of my 4 children, babies, I couldn't be there for you, but I want you guys to be there for each other. To my boys, I'm saying, babies, protect your sisters. Make sure your sisters don't become his next victims. And then I said to my mom and dad, do you know where I am right now? But why would it matter to you? Because you already killed me. So I'm actually going to die right now. And with that, I lost my balance because the way he was pushing and kicking me, it was very slippery, it was dark, it was hot, but I was cold. I hung on to the metal rails with my dear life, and I'm not a swimmer. Even if I was, the sea was very rough. He crushed my knuckles, hoping I'd let go. Some reason I started to get strength, and I wanted to fight, because it's been years of brutality. So he kicked me in my face. I spit out 2 teeth, and he said, call your mother. Maybe she'll come help you. So I screamed, and my echo came back in the ocean. And then he said, no one's coming. Call your lover. What could that be? And he said, call the police that arrested me. So I began to scream louder. And the echo began to change. That now it was a man's voice. And where I was standing, it shone like a cone. And those days we believed in UFOs. And I thought, oh, dear God, the UFO sucked him. Thank God. And then I thought it was my turn. I didn't hear him, I didn't see him. So when I called out, I said, excuse me, sir, I'm so-and-so's daughter-in-law. My husband is going to kill me, please help. And he said, I'm coming. And that's the only voice I heard. So I slowly got out of the water and started to walk, holding the rails towards the car. And I heard 2 men talking. I could identify my husband's voice. And I said the same thing again, please sir, help me. And my husband said to him, if you do anything, I'll kill you. And I never heard from that man again. And in my head at that time I'm thinking, and you too like everybody else. You're a chicken. No wonder this man is getting away with everything. I didn't mean to. Just very quickly, in 2 minutes. I have a talk on Tuesday too, and I'll complete it there. What abusers do, all the abusers, they do it in private because they don't want any witnesses. And I'm asking you today, as a way of equipping, to tell somebody, tell one person, right, have evidence. If you are beaten and you are not going anywhere, take a picture, send it to somebody, delete it from your phone. If you are living in your home and you know he could kick you out, you know he could do something, make copies of your important stuff and a copy of your key, and either give it to a trusted friend, or if you're living somewhere where you have enough guidance in your house, put it in a saran wrap, put it in one of your plants, but remember which one. Okay? Don't go around digging everyone. Prepare yourself. This is not the life that is destined for you. Don't carry those labels. See, my scars that I have all over doesn't define who I am. Right? I don't like my face, but this is what is giving you the proof of how bad violence can be. I want to say to Thriver, how do you get there? Very quickly. I didn't give up. When everybody else gave up on me, that's when I thought, I got to do something. I got to do something. And I wrote a book. The first thing I did, I started to write. The book is published. The book hit #1. In the process, people started to call me to speak for them. I went to Ottawa in Canada, where the parliament is, to speak on immigration policies. The ministers came to me and said, we are going to pass a bill after we heard your story. But 3 years ago, less than 3 years ago, Prince William and Kate were in town in Vancouver, and God never forgets you. People will. God remembered my sacrifice. And so when Prince William was coming, he had his charities he was going to visit. Wow. And all of a sudden he looked at my story and he goes, who's this? So the Governor General explained. He said, I want to meet her. We had a 5-minute talk. He asked about all the things that I've been through. Then he asked if I was okay, if I was safe. And by this time we're talking, and he's no longer Prince William, his Will. Will and I. He said to me, Miss Dillon, I want you to promise me that you will speak for the nations, that you will never stop. Be that voice, regardless of your job. My doctor told me in the last jaw surgery, he said, a few things you're not to do from now on because it's really artificial now. Don't eat anything that's chewy, nuts and stuff, and don't talk too much. With that, I want to say I've come to a place where I wrote another book. It just got published. I had no identity. All these years I was someone's bitch, I was someone's this, I was someone's that. But I was never a wife. I was never Kamal. So when I was writing this book and I was putting things for service providers, and I thought, what is this book called? And I finally thought, I found me. I found Kamal. This book is now called I Am Kamal. Surviving Forever. Can I leave you with one note? My youngest son got married 4 years ago. And 2 months after he got married, he had a career change. So he comes so proud and he said, Mom, do you know why I'm going into this? I said, no, baby, why? He said, Mom, I couldn't protect you then. I'll protect you now.
Fantastic.
My son went on to become an RCMP. RCMP is the police in Canada, federal police. And he is really protecting me. I have to live with him. There are really good men out there. They're protectors, but you gotta train them. With that, be safe, be strong, never give up.
Take a group picture with Kamal.
A selfie, right? Stand,
A big
guys.
selfie. And these are Kamal's books, if any of you are looking. Black and Blue Story, and I'm Kamal. Kamal,
Yeah.
okay, we might want to get a tall person with long hands. We have a volunteer. Okay. We have a volunteer. Ladies, please come for a group selfie. What's it called? Is it called a selfie? Okay, one second. All right.